the things that I've learned is important for me to impart that on anybody else that wants to get into this creative journey, so that they at least have more information than I had starting out. If I can raise anybody else's level, even if that means that they're going to compete with me, that's good, because that means I have to now step my game up and be something worthwhile continuously.
All right, guys, I am here with Victor Dandrige, who is a master when it comes to branding. Like, I'm talking, like, we were in this talk, like, and you'll probably see we'll post it all over the place. Like, just the mentality behind branding that this guy has is so on point. So we had to get him on video to talk about this. Like, so where does your background in? Like, where did you pick all this up from?
Just being in the field, actually. Like, I'm a comic creator. I've been self-publishing through my imprint, Vantage and House Productions, for the last 9 years. And it's one of those things where you pick up things along the way, and I'm that guy that likes to share my cookbook. So the things that I've learned is important for me to impart that on anybody else that wants to get into this creative journey, so that they at least have more information than I had starting out. If I can raise anybody else's level, even if that means that they're going to compete with me, that's good, because that means I have to now step my game up and be something worthwhile continuously. I can't, rest on my laurels and look at what I used to do and be like, well, I was that guy, and they're like, I want to be that guy that continually is pushing hard. That's why, like, overall, people call me the hardest working man in comics. And my goal is to constantly live up to that branding ideal. The only way that you can be the hardest working man is to constantly be doing new things, encouraging people to step into your light and challenge you,
Yeah,
so that's what it's all about.
That's a fact. And you know what? I think, like, in the industry of, like, creativity in general, like creative, whether you do video, photo, graphics, whatever you do, like, if you are a creative, so many people are taking on this mentality that the creative collaboration ends at, like, I take a photo, you say how you want it edited, and that's collaboration. People are missing the part where it's like you have so many techniques and so many unique things that even if you share with people, even if you tell them their step-by-step instruction on how I do something, they still won't do it the same way as you.
Oh,
so
my
there's no
God.
reason to get defensive about all your tricks.
Yes. Matter of fact, I take this so, like, to the heart in the talk, because you guys came in, I think, on, like, step 3. Step number 1 is literally don't be married to your ideas, even to the point of if someone else steals your idea, do it anyway, because they're not going to be able to do it like you did. The execution is everything, and you're absolutely right. Like, that's where style comes into play, and that becomes its own sort of branding essence. If you look at, as much as people lampooning, if you look at anything from Rob Liefeld, it's Rob Liefeld's work. It. Like,
you do.
Hate on him all you want to. Dude's style is recognizable. So again, his brand is strong. I'm sorry. Like, he's just,
And it's funny, I would never know who Rob Liefeld is. So my sister, right over there in the blue, so Britt, come over here. Just come into the camera real quick. So Britt's like, she's a comic book artist.
You're the comic book one? Okay.
So, well, no, but see, you're an artist. Like, you do your own art. So it's like...
Wait, you don't have a table?
I don't.
Oh, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, 100%.
So she's like the reason why I know, like, all the mainstream comic artists. Like, I've known his style, but I never knew his name was Rob Liefeld.
Exactly.
Like, I just knew it was the pouches and boobs dude. Like, it's
see, but look, there you go. That's the brand. Like, you know that. Pouches, boobs, no feet. That's Rob Liefeld. You know what I'm saying? Like, belts, straps all over the place, pecs that don't make any sense. Rob Liefeld.
Guns on top of them with more guns.
Yes, that shoot more guns. Like, that's Rob Liefeld. So yes, thank you for introducing him to the name, to the brand that, we all know in that certain way. It's what it is.
All right,
absolutely what it is.
She's been interviewing people all day. I just had to bring her over.
She's like, you making me work again?
Right.
Come on.
So I mean, like, I think artistic style is like, it's so amazing no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
Like, you hang on to what you do. I mean, you always look for ways to improve, but that is your brand.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 100%. And that's the other thing is, like, I've built myself as a person that, as a part of my brand, it's all about helping people get to other places. So anything that I achieve, if it's only for my consumption, then it's not truly a success. So it's only something in the way of, I open up a door, if I can pull a bunch of people through, then I'm successul. If it only impacts me, that's a modicum that I'm just like, nah, that's not enough. Because there's enough out here for all of us to eat. And sometimes you got to show people that there's food at the table for them to be able to rush through it and feel comfortable. A lot of guys, they be like, well, Vic, I don't know. No, come join me. It's not a setup, it's not a trap. And that's not the way that, a lot of us, especially black people, are considered. We get told that we have this barrel or crabs in a barrel mentality. We don't have to, and that's what I like to show people. If we work together, there's a lot more stuff that we can accomplish.
I love that, man. Yo,
it's so
that is
true.
like exactly my heart right there. It's like I say that to any client I work with, everybody on my team.
Right.
They all know like that's the whole mentality is that we all want to get somewhere else together.
Right.
Where it's like, we've got cinematographers, we've got editors, we've got media coordinators.
You got a squad here.
Yeah,
man.
and this is like a little bit of us.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks. Yeah, so we're like all here, and it's like, we all got different goals. We all got different places we want to be able to go. You know what I mean? Like, between like going off and working with film or working with musicians or whatever it is, like they may not be the client that I ultimately end up working with. But if I can get you the industry experience to then jump off and work with someone else, it would be my fault as a leader if I didn't have someone to do your thing by the time that you were going to your next step.
100%.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, I don't meet a lot of people with that mentality.
You're a true Avenger leader right now. Like, I'm loving what you're saying. I'm over here trying to write notes. Like, yeah.
Well, we'll have the recording. So
yeah. But I still just before this is even out there, I'm trying to implement this on the way home. I'm calling people. Are you the leader? Are you building people to take your place? Because that's what you need to be doing. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
It's a lot of years of experience to learn that. Like,
which is good.
A lot of failure.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Not failure. Lessons.
Lessons. Yep, that's it.
It's only failure if you didn't learn anything.
And then I love that too, because it's like calling a failure a lesson. That's branding again.
That's right.
It's like
absolutely,
switch it,
man. It never stops. It never ever stops.
Yeah, that's amazing. So like, what ignited the passion in you that like, I don't know, like where were you at in life when you went on this journey of self-publishing?
So this is the craziest thing. I was 27 years old. I worked full time for the state of Ohio. Like I had a cushy state job. Married, 2 sons, had a daughter, and I'm like, this isn't what I want my life to be.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. To anyone else that it might apply to, anyone out here. But I wasn't satisfied with being like a weekend warrior type thing. It kind of reminds me, if you go to LA, right? And this is so stereotypical to say, but so true. If you go to LA, you go to a restaurant, and the person that's serving your food, you ask them what they do. They'll say, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm this, I'm that. The thing that they're doing currently that's giving them money is not what they are. You know what I mean? So even though I was a state employee, I'm a comic book creator.
Right.
And I couldn't stand waking up and not being an active comic book creator. So at 27, I quit my cushy state job, I cashed in my retirement, and I'm like, I'm gonna start making comic books full time. And I've not looked back, Any struggle, worth it. All the growth that I've been able to do, bring my family into it, my creative brothers into it, it's been worth everything. And that was it. It was just this thing where, I knew I was gonna be a part of the comic book industry at the age of 10.
Yeah.
And this was like, get off the pot and let's go. Like, let's stop waiting for when I grow up.
Yeah.
Do it right now. And so that's my word to anybody. Do not wait, especially in this day and age. There is nothing that you have to wait for aside from like driving. Like, unless it's like something like that, start doing it right now. Start a channel, start a blog, start a podcast, start putting out comics. Nobody says that you have to be a grown-up in order to do this.
That's an absolute fact. Absolutely.
It's so real.
Yeah,
it's so real. So, if anything, if I can encapsulate anything to anyone, start. Just go. Don't wait for it.
And your kids must hear that all the time.
Oh my God, they get tired of it so much. Really, Dad?
Right.
Really?
Like, Dad, look, I caught this idea like just something to cook. I haven't seen anybody make this recipe before. And you're like, all right, it's time to put it on YouTube.
No. What I do is I'm like, why are you telling me about it instead of serving it to me?
Yeah.
Where is it at? Well, I haven't started yet. Now, you know what I'm gonna say.
Right.
All right, Dad, I'll be upstairs. Okay. That's what I'm. That's what it is. I don't like for people to have to ask for permission. Don't ask for permission. Worst case scenario, ask for forgiveness because you stepped out there and you tried something all on your own, of your own agency, your own esteem. Go.
Yeah. And that's fantastic. 'Cause it's like the next generation, I feel like, is being taken in a direction, and you can say whatever it is, it's like bring in this direction, but it's like entrepreneurship is being like discouraged more than it ever has been. Man. Like, it's just a culture that we're in now where it's like, go for what's secure, secure in quotation marks, right?
And it's not.
Like,
go to college, spend $40,000 on school, and maybe there's a job.
Right.
Probably not, but maybe. Yeah, no. I'm not that person. I'll tell my kids, the thing that I got out of going to college, and I am a happy dropout, I got networking, because that was the thing that I wanted. Based on my field, I don't need a degree. So for me, it was more about experience. Instead of, staying in school for 4 or 5 years, I was like, you know what? Let me get into the field and start making stuff. And I'll learn a lot, based on that. If I make something and nobody buys it, all right. put it back, let's start all over again.
Yeah.
If I make something and somebody buys it, all right, rinse, repeat. How do I keep doing that?
Yeah.
So, it's a lot more to it than the practicality of things. Man, I just did a Kickstarter for my You Create Comics line, which is a program that I started to help kids specifically make comics and bring it into the classroom. And that's one of the big things that I push to them is like, if you take something that you're passionate about, turn that into your profession as an entrepreneur, you can write your own ticket. Like there's nothing that you can't do. And we talk finances, which is important, I think, because kids don't know about money, and I'm trying to encourage them, start thinking about it now and start thinking about how you're going to make your stake in this world, not just for you, but for those that you have, in your legacy, whether it's your parents, whether it's your children. You got to start thinking about that stuff. So, I use that as part of my branding talk.
Yeah, I love that, though. I love that. So it's like, okay, so what is next for you? Like, what's coming down the pipeline that everybody should know about?
Man. So, Vandrige House is about to celebrate 10 years next year.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you. So we've got 5 titles out right now. We have our all ages friendly title, which is Wonder Care Presents the Kindergarten. Thank you.
I love that.
It's a lot of fun. It's Muppet Babies meets the Justice League. Yeah, I know, right? You're like, I gotta read this.
Yeah.
Then we have our teen friendly title, which is called Origins Unknown. Which we're gonna, let me say these things first. Then we have, The Trouble with Love, which is more young adult, and then we have our 2 mature titles, The Samaritan and Old Crazy and the 40 Ounces of Death. Now, I do gotta give a plug. I work with some phenomenal creators. With Wonder Care, it's Justin Castaneda, who I work with. Fantastic job. He did, co-ownership. He has definitely earned every piece of it because he makes just as much as I do. It's fantastic. Jacob Newell did a great job on Origins Unknown series. All 6 stories that we did together were fantastic. Harold Edge for The Trouble with Love. Some of the best comic book artwork you will see ever. My brother Ren McKenzie on The Samaritan. Again, best-selling book in my imprint. Without question, without doubt. And then, of course, we have Old Crazy and the 40 Ounces of Death that I did with Brian Moss, who killed it. It's fantastic. So, over the next 2 years, we're going to launch 6 more titles. Some of them sequels, some of them brand new, but I want to expand what Vandrige In-House is with a few filler stories in between that I'm going to tap some of the best in comics to work with. I mean, we're talking guys that should be well above my pay grade, but if you don't reach for the stars, what's the point of you swinging?
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
I'm going hard with that. That's for Vandrige In-House's side. For the You Create Comics line, I'm aiming to get in more schools this coming school year. I want to do a You Create Comics tour where I'm going to take my programming and go to different cities, probably 8 cities to start because I feel like 8 in the branding, it just kind of makes sense. I'm going to pick 8 cities across the country, and I'm bringing You Create one night. A couple of my friends, we're going to do some creative stage stuff. We're going to have people creating their own comic content, and they're going to get to own those IPs and possibly join us out here and start selling comics.
That's awesome. So, like, what conventions are up next for you?
Let's see.
Headed this year?
Right now, I'm looking at. I'm going to San Diego. I will be a panelist out there and just a general fan. I'm also going to be doing GalaxyCon Raleigh. I'm getting ready to join the GalaxyCon family in a big bad way, so it's going to be awesome. We have a lot of local shows back where I'm from. Shout out to Space, CXC, SoulCon, and I'll definitely have more of a hands-on, kind of move with those guys as well. But overall, it's just kind of seeing where I fit in. I've worked with Reed Pop, all those guys. I'm a comic book guy. What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm everywhere.
Well, that's fantastic. So no slowing down for the rest.
No. What's the? I mean, look. If I'm gonna still maintain being the hardest working man in comics, what is slowdown? We don't. Yeah.
That's facts.
Exactly.
All right. So where can the people find you at?
Vandrige In-House on all forms of social media. Definitely check us out on Facebook. Check out You Create Comics. That's the letter U, CRE8comics.com, as well as on Facebook. And check us out because we got all kinds of good stuff. If you want to be a comic book creator, we got products and programming for you. If you are a comic book creator, we got products that are better and cheaper in price, not in quality, than what you're currently using. I promise you.
All right, awesome. Yo, Victor, it's been fantastic,
Thank you so much.
Yo, absolutely go check that out, guys. Just awesome stuff.
Thank you.
All right.